Immediately after that fight against Glover, you said in the post-fight something to the effect, it's been a second since I went back and rewatched it, but that you don't need to sell a fight, you don't need to, engage in a bunch of verbal warfare, that you just come out and you perform. I mean, obviously, with UFC 202, that was headlined by Conor McGregor. Were you kind of annoyed being around that the entire time? Are you sort of annoyed by this idea that...
No, not at all, man. I mean, that's what they do. Conor is he's an entertainer, he's a fighter, all of the above. You know what I'm saying? None of that affected me, but it's just not my thing to do all that talking and, hollering and shit like that. It's just not my thing. You know what I'm saying? I listen to enough boxers do all of that stuff, and to me it sounds fake and phony, and that's nothing against boxers, but it's just, they do all that hyping it up, and it's never what it turns out to be. You know what I mean? So I keep my mouth closed and fight, because when a lot of times people do all that talking and the fight doesn't turn out to be what you expect it to be. So I rather keep people guessing on, what's going to happen.
Yeah, and watching your facial expressions when you're around somebody who is like that, like a Conor McGregor who likes to talk, is pretty funny. I mean, if anybody goes back and watches that press conference at UFC 202, some of the facial expressions you have to what he says and what the crowd's reacting to, it seems like you're just like, what is going on here? Why do people get so hyped up on this? What's going through your head when you're sitting at a press conference and, the fans are oohing and aahing at this trash talk that's going back and forth? Are you entertained at all, or what are you thinking when you're sitting up there?
Super funny to me. It's super funny to me. We need it, though. We're already, a bunch of wild men that love to do the craziest sport possible. But to see the fans really get into it, and then they start screaming and talking, and then the fans be wanting to fight more than the fighters want to fight now. You know what I mean? So it's just entertaining to me. I love it. I like to laugh. I like to have a good time. And whenever those people start getting into it and talking trash to each other and talking trash to the fighters and all of that, it's just too funny to me, because you can never get enough of that.
Yeah, now I got to ask you, and I know we're getting sort of off topic here, but since you had such a good perspective of what happened at that press conference, Conor McGregor ended up getting fined for $150,000 for what he did at that press conference. What did you think when you heard that number? I mean, a lot of people have given their thoughts on it, but again, you had an extremely close view of everything that took place during that whole incident. What did you think when you heard that Conor McGregor had been fined $150,000 for that?
I thought, damn, I was like, that's a lot of money to be losing, but it also hurt me because I feel bad for the fighters that, don't get paid near as much as that, and they work their butt off, and then the guy gets fined for more than what some people earn during a fight, and kind of earn every penny that he gets, every cent, every dollar. I take nothing away from him. I mean, get it while you can. Our careers are pretty short in this sport. It can end, in a split second. You know what I mean? But you got to think about some people's well-being and, things like that. If a guy can get fined $100 and whatever you said, $100,000 period is a lot of money for anybody to get fined. I don't care how rich you are, hell, instead of just fining them, how about you just raise the pay for other fighters and just help them get a better living too? They're getting a good living off of us. Why can't we get a good living off of them?
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, the $150,000, it comes as a certain percentage from Conor's purse, and that purse for UFC 202 is $3 million. And that was a record-breaking purse. That's the highest disclosed purse that this sport has ever seen. Does that mean something personally to you? I mean, do you see a number like that and say, I could benefit from this, this sport's headed in the right direction, I'm going to start getting paid more? Or do you look at it as, well, good for Conor, but it's difficult for me to try to turn that into my own benefit?
Well, once again, Conor he deserves every penny that he gets, every cent. You know what I mean? Some people deserve it because they sell the fight, they do all the talking, and some people don't. Do I see it as an opportunity for me to get better pay? I think Conor's helped out everybody get a better pay, and this should more pay, but we know how the game works. But hopefully, everybody just goes up on the ladder when it comes to pay. You know, if they can shell out that much money to anybody, then everybody deserves a raise, I should say.